Hey, boy. Boy, what are we talking about right now? Oh my God. Yo, I can't even go to the intro, boy. Hey, man. Hey, it's the Love of the Game podcast. I'm your host. I'm Andre Allen. It doesn't even matter, bro. I'm here, Huff here, B Will in here, Stroud back with us, bro. Oh
Yes, sir.
my God, bro.
That's crazy,
Hey,
man.
man.
Oh my God. MJ was so real, bro. MJ was so real, bro.
Yeah. That's tough.
I always love when you're excited to see something and you get like what you were expecting. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like they gave me everything that I wanted, bro, all the way down to the music, bro. Like the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack to the doc was fire.
We need
Yeah,
that. After this is over, we're gonna need it to drop.
Man. Listen, hey, bro. All my mixtape kings out there, bro. To everybody that is in the mixtape game, dog. Can you give us some old school music on the mixes, dog? Like, let's learn these youngins a thing or two, bro. Like they gave me everything that I want. MJ murdering the Celtics to LL, dog.
Hey,
that was kind of nice.
What are you talking about, bro?
That Eric B and Rakim, though.
Yeah,
that was perfect.
Yeah, it was right on.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh my God, bro. They gave me everything from the little tight choker gold chains.
Yeah.
Hey, the 2 Chainz.
Yes, bro. To the boot cut jeans, dog.
Man.
What?
MJ was a bad man.
The man writing a letter to his mom said, "Can you send me? Here's my account number. Can you put $20 in my account and send me some stamps?"
I gotta calm down, bro. I'm on a high right now. Let me try to intro this right. Love of the Game podcast. We're here. This is your live reaction show. We are here on SUV TV. As always, this is the platform. SUV TV is the label. SUV TV is the movement. Make sure you like, subscribe to the SUV TV YouTube channel. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure your notifications are on. You can watch this show right now. If you're watching on YouTube on your phone, you don't have to go on your phone. You can watch this on your TV.
Yes,
go to SUV TV on the app, on the Roku app, on the Apple TV app, bro. You can watch this on SUV TV. You can also interact with us, bro. We're going to be pulling people live on here to talk about all of our favorite MJ memories, everything just around basketball, around this documentary, bro. Interact with us, man. Come kick it with us as a family. This was incredible. Like, I'm on a high right now. Like,
yeah, I had to go change my shoes, Mondre. I had to.
Bro,
I had to go throw in the playoffs for him, man. I'm taken back. And his highlights are smooth, like
that's tough.
Fundamentally, like everybody thinks of the dunks, but just the fundamental, the footwork, the man. Whew.
MJ catching, triple threat, baking you, 1-2 pull up. The elevation on every jump shot, dog. MJ sneakers like right by your face. You trying to contest his shoe by your face. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
Let's start. Anything that we saw that maybe we didn't expect to see?
Probably the go ahead.
I didn't know Scotty was the 122nd paid player in the
league.
That's
what
I did not know that.
They played Scotty.
But did they play him? Remember, he said, at my age, I got 12 siblings at home. Yeah. My dad's in a weird, like, he had to take it when he got it.
Here's to me, When I say they played, Scotty, like to me, what I'm more so talking about is every time that you have, this is my issue with everybody's going crazy. The move he put on Dennis Johnson was crazy. It was crazy. My issue is every time that you have the upper hand in business, you don't have to exercise that upper hand. Like you, just because you have the upper hand on somebody doesn't mean that you have to like go through it. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to treat people that way just because you can.
Right.
And I think that's a lesson in business that I wish corporate America would understand today. Just because you can get away with paying somebody a certain salary doesn't mean it's right.
He definitely probably would have. If looking back, he probably wouldn't have signed that contract.
Yeah.
Nah.
Man, bro. No. And sometimes
he would have been in today's day, he would have been a max player.
Definitely.
And when is the next time that they got a huge free agent to go to Chicago since then? It's the biggest free agent that they got.
When they got Derrick Rose at the draft.
So, and that's my thing, bro. Like if you don't treat people well, even when you have the upper hand, like they could have easily.
It started early before that. I mean, that's what I kept looking at is Jerry Krause's relationship just wasn't good from day. I mean, with people around him, it wasn't good.
Right.
I mean, no disrespect to him. Everybody has to get it their own way. But that dude didn't even have a basketball background, bro.
I mean, I look at
it. Hey, those jokes, they were playing that man. That was funny. He's like, dude, we got a court. If you want to come do some layups down here, it's a little lower.
Yeah, the rim is a lower, man. Yeah.
I mean, look, as a GM, did he do his job?
Yeah.
Like he saw talent in Scotty. He built that team. He did his job to build a team, bro. But how you treat people is important.
It matters.
It matters, man. Just because you can get over on somebody doesn't mean you should. Like there are like people see that. People see you treating people like that, bro. Like you gonna let that ride. Like Scotty had to go to Portland and get his bread.
Yeah,
oh, sure. You gotta think about it. I mean, that's why he was going in on that dude on the bus, man.
He wanted to get paid, man.
Who was Scotty's agent? They never said that.
No, they didn't say that.
No, his agent is in the NFL now. Naturally, because their contracts suck. Yeah. Right. Somebody on Twitter put his agent out there.
But somebody said, why didn't the owner fire Krause? Because he said that's what he needed, you know.
Nope. It's hard to fire. So it's hard to me. It's hard to fire anybody 6 in a row, bro.
Hey, that was funny though when Oak slapped Pip though.
He had him by the collar first, and then he slapped him.
Hey, Huff, did y'all have a Charles Oakley on y'all team, man?
When? Where?
Was that at St. Francis? Was that big boy that went to? Was he go to East Carolina? Was that big boy? Was he the
Josh
Charles
Coleman?
Oakley,
Man.
Yeah.
I can tell y'all a story, man. One time we had a workout. What college is there? And Malik tried to dunk on him, and he threw him down. I thought he had broke Malik's wrist, man. He did not care, bro.
Hey, Josh Coleman was a big boy.
Yeah.
Josh Cole was a big boy. Do we have that guy now? Do we have we don't have any intimidators now. Probably the closest thing we got to intimidator is probably Robbie, ain't it?
I was gonna say Robbie.
I mean, but I don't think he intimidates. Like everybody's friends now. Nobody has a killer instinct like that. Like that man said, he went to play golf with Danny Ainge the day before. He said, "Tell DJ I got something for him."
Broski.
63. That's what he had for him.
Man, I'm ready for the next one.
Man, I know. And you almost like, man, if there had been a Netflix, like really Netflix, I'd have been up all night, bro. All night. Man.
All night.
Hey, does anybody feel any different about a mid-range jump shot now after watching?
Bro, see, y'all weren't paying attention. See, let's see. Bryce, were you paying attention when MJ was at North Carolina? Was it a three-point line on the floor?
Nah, it was no.
There you go. There was no 3-point line on the floor.
And my brother was like, "Hold up, ain't no 3-point line." Okay, all mid range, dog. Everything's meant right.
Everything.
Facts. MJ was getting busy, dog. That
man James Worthy said, man, it was 2 weeks. I was the best player for 2 weeks.
I love MJ walking into the Bulls situation and saying, I'm gonna assert myself.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm not gonna do it with my voice because I don't have a voice.
Because I'm a rookie. Yep.
For him to recognize that he's the third pick, I feel like I'm the best player here, and saying I'm gonna assert myself, but I'm not gonna use my voice. I ain't gotta say nothing. I'm gonna do it with my play. Who's the best person here? I'm about to go get that dude every day. Like young players, bro. Like that's what we gotta, man.
Man, that was so much stuff that you talk about young players, man. What MJ Mama say? What he said, man. The coach, what he say? The coach was doing something. You got to play harder.
You got to play harder.
No excuses, man. You got to go.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. You got to get it, man. I like when his mom said, we're going to get better this summer. I was like, yeah. Okay.
Man, it's woo.
I want to know, I think the other thing besides the music or the soundtrack, the other thing that got me is the intro for the Bulls, man. Like that.
Hey, man, that's it. I had goosebumps, chills. It's like
it does something, bro.
Ooh.
Like it does something.
Memories, man.
Like I don't think no other team could ever use that. Like I don't want to hear nobody ever use that music. Like I don't feel like nobody's good enough for that. You know what I mean? Like that's sacred, man.
Music was like so unique. Like now the game and we just hear like the songs on the radio. You know what I mean? We actually like some digging.
Man, back then it was an organist playing in the background.
Facts. Yeah. Hey, low key Huff when Chicago was losing and they flashed that Atlanta score and y'all won by 2.
Feeling good, bro. Feeling good. They showed Mutombo dunking. They gave Christian Laettner some love in the ball.
I said Huff.
Good old days, huh?
Hey.
I said Huff home herself. No, he sat up in his chair like, we gotta win.
Yeah, we gotta win. But that score was not good. 80-78.
Yeah.
Hey man. I wanna check in with some young guys at some point before we get off here tonight to see the impact and the perspective of how a young elite player today looks at MJ and what they take away from seeing that, because they didn't grow up with it the way that we did. I want to know what young guy gonna be wearing a wristband on that elbow.
Hey man, all I know is my team's group chat was crazy. They were chatting the whole doggone thing, man.
Yeah, man.
I think it's gonna be dope. I gotta look and see who all we got in here, man. Hey, I got too many Twitter comments to read right now.
Hey man, but as we get into it, man, we want kids to chime in on this. Roy Williams said Michael Jordan was the only player that could turn it on and off, and he never turned it off.
Facts.
I need y'all players to understand that comment right there. Facts. That's a huge comment.
Yeah.
Some gems in there, bro.
You talking about, oh well, I ain't playing nobody tonight. This one ain't gonna be on SUV TV. Ain't no scouts, ain't no colleges here to watch tonight, so I can just turn it off. He never turned it off.
He, and I tweeted this too. Like, I feel like every great player, like we was talking about Colin earlier and some of the crazy stuff that Colin did. I feel like most of those guys, or every great player, got a little MJ in them. And when I say that, not to compare him to MJ, but like every great player is a little nuts. Like they not, you know what I mean? Like you was talking about Malik Huff, where he wants to lift weights right before the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
when we playing in region championship when Kobe done fouled out and Kaiser done fouled out, and he turned to the bench. We're not losing this game.
You already know. Respect it or check it.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. Like, what struck that for me was how psycho MJ was.
Yeah.
You can only play 14 minutes.
Oh my man. I didn't know that part.
MJ
I didn't either.
Coach. He looks at his coach and say, give me the most important 7 minutes you got.
Yep.
I'm gonna win it in 7. You tell me I can only play 7, I'm gonna win the game in 7. That is nuts, dog.
That's that confidence we were talking about earlier. Yep.
Yeah, bro, that's
scary confidence. That's insane.
Yeah, that's
that's the charts.
Man, like I'm gonna kill you. Like
I'm gonna go in here and hit 5 mid-ranges in 7 minutes.
But and I hate to compare him, I guess, to Colin so much, but that's the player since I've been here.
Man, I ain't comparing nobody to that, man. I ain't comparing nobody.
I'm saying, like, from an attitude standpoint, how we was talking about Colin, like, yo, he really believes this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I got
how
you.
It sounds crazy, but he really believes.
He really believes in his heart and his mind that he's gonna do exactly what he's like telling you to do.
Yeah. Like, can you understand how nuts that is? Like, Matt Cleveland tweeted, like, everybody knows that you can't get in a flow in 7 minutes. But for MJ was like, yo, if
it ain't true.
If
you can go if you know you got 7 minutes, you're gonna go to work right away. You're gonna try to keep
working. But you gotta think of the mentality, man. This is the same man who walked in the office and when Roy Williams said, oh, you think you're working hard? He said, I'll show you. I'll show you. Nobody will ever work as hard as I will.
Bro, I remember
kids acknowledge the fact that Roy Williams was Dean Smith's assistant?
They're so
together.
I don't know, man. There's so much history in that they probably they don't recognize in that, man.
Do the kids know Dean Smith? That's
got a point. They got a point right there. Yeah. Do the kids? I mean, they only know Patrick Ewing maybe is the head coach of Georgetown, not the player at Georgetown, not the player at the New York Knicks.
And I think that's a good thing, though, because I don't think they understand how feared Pat was and how big of a shot that was for MJ. Because to be real, you go back and watch that game. Pat was killing them, bro.
Yeah,
killing them.
But that game was
they had them triple team.
However, that game was just the beginning of Michael Jordan always taking Patrick Ewing's heart.
But see, and that's the thing, though, man. I feel bad for Pat when it comes to that because you gotta think it was MJ, James Worthy, Sam Perkins, all on the same team. Was it Jimmy Black, the point guard, all on the same?
So you making excuses for Pat?
Against him and Sleep, they had him triple team, coach.
But you making excuses for him.
Did you see the turnover at the end of the game? How they lost?
I know. I'm just being devil's advocate right now.
I'm just like, I did kind of feel bad for Pat, and partially because I'm a tortured Knicks fan. Yo, Hillsman is in here. Hillsman, you gotta jump on, bro.
Hillsman,
you gotta jump on.
Tap him.
Andre will send you the link, man.
Hey, somebody send Hillsman the link, bro. We gotta get Hillsman in here.
Hey, but seriously, like, I mean, there was so much stuff in this documentary, man, and I'm just like, people don't realize what the NBA was like when Magic and Larry and MJ came in. Like, they touched on it a little bit, but that Chicago team was not just the Chicago team, but there was a lot of drug use in the NBA.
That was crazy too.
Yeah,
so
that was crazy.
What he was talking about was unfortunately rampant in the NBA.
I thought he was about to jump. Like at that time when we started talking about the drugs, that made me think about the Len Bias situation.
Yeah.
Of course, he didn't go down that path, but that's what it made me think of. Like, dang, that's just right around the same time Len Bias, got drafted and stuff and had a drug situation and died.
Hey, y'all don't think that was at least a little bit capped though on MJ's part?
I think the story. I think he actually toned it down. I think it was.
Yeah, I think he did. He could have said names.
And I was like, how far is he gonna go with this? Because you can't be diming people out. You know what I'm saying? Even if you MJ, like,
right.
To me, he actually kind of kept it pretty cool because she could have went into detail. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying, what's the chances that MJ walked in that room, saw what was going on, turned around and left like he said?
That's like
no. I think some other people. I think some other people would have.
D'Angelo Russell, when he walked in the locker room, had the phone out. He was filming everybody, and then you know what I'm saying? Like you can't really. You gotta keep it. You gotta, the code.
That's facts. Yeah. I mean, you can't he did kind of dry snitch. You know what I'm saying? A little bit. Saying that everybody was in there.
But I mean, he has to, because that's what we're here for. You know what I mean? Like we want to see those, we want to hear about those stories. We don't want to hear the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like we want to see some things that we've never seen before. And that was something I never heard before. So
I think
I was shocked to know all of them was in there. Yeah. I thought it was just gonna be like 2 or 3 of them. It was all of them.
What was that first team? It was George Gervin, wasn't it? Wasn't Reggie Theus on that first team?
I don't know, man. I ain't calling no name.
I think that was one of.
That's before my time anyway.
Oh, Mike got me dry snitching my bad, George. I'm over here reminiscing, dog. I ain't trying to put nobody business out the streets like that.
Dre, we don't know who's watching right now.
I know, man. I have to watch yourself in these quarantine streets, Dre. Watch out.
Hey, man, I don't want no smoke with Iceman, dog. I had that poster up on my wall, bro. I don't want no smoke.
Right? You're gonna get mushed like Scotty.
Hey, especially for Oak, because I don't think Oak cares whether or not I played in the NBA, dog.
Nah, he don't care about nothing, man.
He don't be playing, bro. He got kicked out of MSG not too long ago.
Yeah, man.
He's still ready.
Hey, man, he gets drafted, and they say this. What was the indoor soccer team was drawing more than the Bulls in the arena, man?
Yeah,
like
that's bad, man.
Yeah, I remember. I think Kenny Smith telling a story about MJ at North Carolina. After that whole thing with Roy Williams, MJ saying that he would never allow anybody wearing a North Carolina uniform to say that they were on the floor longer than him or practice more than him. So when they would walk off the floor to go get water, MJ wouldn't leave.
Wow.
He would not leave the floor. He was that competitive to say, there's no way you can say that you were on this floor longer than me or practice.
Hey, man, they dropping names on the comments. Who was on the team?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Orlando Woolridge are fine. Hey, somebody tell me, was Artis Gilmore on that team?
He might have been.
I think he was.
Artis Gilmore was on that team.
I think he was.
Oh, we got some smoke in it. Ooh, sheesh.
What's that? Wow. At least MJ's mom didn't go to the school begging the coach. Wow. At least MJ's mom didn't go to the school begging the coach to put him on
man.
when he didn't make it. She told him to work harder. That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. Hey, I did see a tweet from Justin Young saying that Scottie Pippen would have been in the 2020 transfer portal.
Could have been.
Hey, bro.
Hey, but let's talk about Scottie for a minute.
That man,
he was a 5th pick in the NBA draft from an NAIA school. So even back then, now let's be serious. Back then, all y'all players, I gotta go D1, gotta go D1.
Yeah.
NAIA, 5th pick of the draft.
It was a team manager to start out.
Equipment manager. Grew 5 inches between his freshman and sophomore. Hey, can I have one player? Can you grow 5 inches for me? I can use that.
Please let it be DeJuan. Please let it be my son.
Man.
Please let it. Hey, man. MJ taller than all his people, man. Let DeJuan be taller than all of us, man. I'm cool with it. I ain't gonna trip. DeJuan be walking up on me, though, dog. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't have him.
Man, I'll tell you something, man. I just got so much stuff, man. I'm sorry, man. I know I'm rambling. I'm going from one part of it to another part.
Hey, go for it, bro.
Hey, man. They always talked about, which I'm probably sure in one of these episodes they're going to get to it, how he treated or what he did to Steve Kerr. But that moment he was going at, like, he was at Ron Harper's neck, bro. He was at Ron Harper's neck.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yes. Bro, that's the thing, man. I think, to me, I don't know. Can you be a championship team without that? I mean, I've always said I feel like the best teams were led by players and not necessarily by the coaches. The coaches' overall leadership, but that team accountability, that player accountability, doesn't get it.
You have to have player accountability, man.
Yeah.
I remember, what do you say? He'll tell you to get out of here if you weren't ready to go. That's what happened, man. Fonz is dropping every name on that team, baby.
Hey, I love it. I love it, bro. Now we know who all was in the room.
Yeah.
But no, I think when it comes to winning the championship, I would love to know if something like that was going on in like the Wheeler practices or the Wheeler locker room or some of these great teams that we've seen throughout Georgia, like who that guy was, if it was always the best player or if it was a senior player.
Sometimes it's not the best player, man. Yeah. Sometimes it is and sometimes it's not.
Sometimes when you're just trying to win, dog, you can't take that shit personal, bro. Like,
But you gotta have somebody on your team in order for your team to win and be like successful. You gotta have a dude that forces everybody else to raise their bar.
Yes,
and it can't always come from the coaching staff. It's got to be somebody on the floor who is who has that Mike mentality. Like, dude, if you don't step this, you know what up, we ain't gonna get the job done. And if I feel like if you don't have one of those guys on your team, it's gonna be hard to win those Final Four games.
Right, and I think it goes. I want to say it was Eric Musselman, but it may have not been. He said there are 3 people who cannot have a bad practice: the head coach, the point guard, and the best player cannot have a bad practice ever.
Yeah, for sure. I think to be that guy that you're gonna scream on dudes at practice or sometimes really get after dudes, I feel like everybody has to know.
I see the comments, man.
Ron from Dayton, you already know.
I wish on that, Sylvester.
Hey,
don't mess with them big dudes.
Facts.
They dropping all names. Sheesh.
That
Enos Watley was on that team. Oh my gosh.
He dropping names of dudes I ain't even know. Who is Jawan Oldham? I don't even know him, bro. Robert went and found a whole roster, fam.
I hope that they dig deeper into Ron Harper. I think they would. I think that's something that like I need to see, and I think that's something that a lot of people need to see because dude was good, and I feel like
it was really good.
They gotta like get into that, and I think they will though.
But to be that guy, you got to be willing to sacrifice too. Your teammates got to know that you're willing to give it all the way up.
Oh, you got
to
but
win.
The dudes who are like that, they don't even think like that. They just naturally are like that. It's like, dude, I'm gonna give it what I got, no matter when I step on the floor. And if you ain't raise the bar and compete on my level, then sometimes they'll be like, Coach, please get him out the game. Like, come, get him. So they'll do it. They'll police themselves. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't playing to the level we trying to get the job done, man. So I feel like you got to have somebody like that. Got to.
I think that's what this episode 1 and episode 2 taught us, that everybody needed somebody. Yeah. You know, like it even talks about Michael needing his brother to push him
to get better.
Yeah. You know, it talks about all these guys, you know, to be great, somebody's got to be able to push you, man.
Yeah, man, for sure.
No doubt. That I had a parent one time ask me about that. I had 2 kids really get into it in practice, and we had to break them up. And I told the parent, like, I ain't never had a good team where I have to break up a fight.
Shit,
that's just the reality of the team I've been on, bro. Like, I ain't never had a good team where I ain't had to break. You know, like when guys is really going hard and competing in practice and being physical, like occasionally, you know, tempers gonna run hot, and you know, letting everybody know that it's okay, that they can. To me, that space where basketball was that space where I could be passionate and it was okay, and my passion wasn't perceived as just being an angry black guy or a young black man. You know what I mean? Like you could be on a basketball court and be passionate. And
hey, here we go.
Hey, sir. Hillsman, I'm about to get out the way, bro. I'm getting out the way.
School us with some Chicago history.
Yes, sir. Schooler, sir.
Man, what y'all cutting up for this evening, man?
I mean, because that's what we do. That's what we do.
Man.
What did you think, man? What's your first impression?
Yeah, true. How everybody doing?
We're good, man. We're good. How you doing? You staying safe?
Good, man.
Yeah, of course. First impression. I mean, I wish I was at my storage unit. I would show y'all like my total VHS collection of all Bulls games. I mean, I just hope that as it continues to go, we kind of dig down and look at it. But you know, I'm a Bulls fan, if everybody know that. But the front office has always just kind of been kind of crazy, and you can kind of see that how a player's desire to win is kind of not in line with what the front office, you know, it's a losing mentality. Oh, let's get the draft picks or whatever. But if you want to win, when winning is everything, you know, I think that kind of sets you apart. And I personally hope that people that don't play the game don't continue to lower the bar.
Are you nervous when you talk about the front office leadership right now with those two promising guards that you have? It looks like y'all building something. Are you being reminded of old days, man, with what's going on with the Bulls right now?
No, they got rid of Gar Forman. So,
yeah, who did they hire? Who did they hire?
They hired AK out of Denver, which was not their first option, because their first two options, you know, they still was gonna keep Gar in a front office position, and that's just not good. Remember, he ran off Thibodeau now, so you know.
Thanks.
But you know, they have an opportunity to do some things, but we'll see. And then the assistant GM that they got, you know, Gar Forman's gone though, so it's immediately better.
That's how I felt when the Hawks got rid of Billy King, man.
Billy King.
Anybody surprised that probably the greatest player to ever play this game wore bootcut jeans? Starched bootcut jeans.
Hey man, come on, man.
I was shocked by that too, Drake.
Why y'all shocked? That man was riding around on a bicycle on campus, man. Why y'all shocked by that, man?
No, I'm shocked that he still has starched bootcut jeans now. Bro.
And that man can do what he want, man.
He definitely can.
You gonna say something to him?
Hey, MJ could give us 7 minutes in a game right now. I still believe he could. 7 minutes.
I do too.
MJ good for 7 minutes today. Hey, who did y'all have the Michael Jordan cologne?
Nah,
I did.
I didn't go that
I did. I got it for a Christmas present, Drake. I didn't just buy it.
Hey, that's how big of an influence, man. What, Joel? Earlier in the day, we talked about the intro for the Bulls. What does that song like do to you to this day?
Oh, that's the greatest introduction song, period. Serious. I forget the name of the group, but yeah, I mean, that's the best intro song, period. Like you even hear high schools using it now. So I mean, it's championship basketball. It's a different kind of basketball. You know, the Bulls, even with their horrible record this year, they still had the best introduction to a game, period. They have the last 15, 20 years with the running of the Bulls and all that type of stuff. So when you hear Serious, that's the name of the song. Yeah. That's a basketball intro song.
Yeah. That is.
I was a little shocked at remembering. I always knew Scottie Pippen was vital, but how it was portrayed in this doc in the first 2 episodes.
Man, he's a top 50, man. So what do you mean?
Yeah. I'm saying,
what you talking about? Are you talking about the contract?
I'm talking about the struggle. For whatever reason, I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
He
I never
went to
that jogged
Central
my memory.
Arkansas.
I'm talking about the struck of winning without him.
Winning
without him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
That
I mean, that's kind of part of Pippen's lore. You know, Jordan never won one without Pip. Pip didn't win one without Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that 86 season to 87, you could see even against Boston. Now, if he don't miss them 60 games, they probably not an AFC.
Right.
So you gotta kind of bring it into that context. And then, you know, we talk about teams nowadays, just to bring you in context of how the NBA works. Oh, they under 500. They were 30-52.
Yep. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I saw that.
They had less teams.
Less teams, but still 82 games because they had played Boston 6 times during the regular season.
But I will say this though, Joel, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I think talent-wise, spread across the teams was a lot better back then than it is now. Like
concur.
Like you look at, you know, when he came in the league, he said, I want to be mentioned with the Celtics and the 76ers. Now, let's be honest. What had the 76ers won? They hadn't, but they had players on their teams. Like, there are so many teams in the East that could never get past Chicago, never get past Detroit, and never get past Boston that were good.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
That's true.
My God. Come on, Andre. Come on.
I'm going to accentuate your point because Pippen was drafted in 87.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's the year before Minnesota, Orlando, and Charlotte were a warranted expansion team.
Yep.
Then Vancouver, which is now Memphis, came in 95 and Toronto in 95.
Yep.
So there's 6 other teams that weren't there, and now you get New Orleans 7. So yeah, your 6th, 7th, and 8th guys off of those other teams' benches are starters with the expansion.
I mean, what are you arguing about, Mondre? Like Boston had, like they said, 4 Hall of Famers, man.
I felt
and
like
Bill Walton was coming off the bench.
Yeah, and you still had DJ and Danny Ainge. And come on, man. What?
I felt like we were top heavy then, and we're top heavy now.
How were you top heavy?
Because then we knew that forever we knew that the Lakers or Celtics were going to win a championship.
But that doesn't mean it was top heavy. Like you still had teams that were really good. They just couldn't beat them.
Then we knew Detroit was going to win. Then we knew. I feel like.
But when Detroit was winning, Chicago was still good. When Boston was winning, Detroit was really good.
I think we have teams that are really good now. Like
who? I mean, but anybody wins now.
I mean, if you look in the East, what's the separation? If you look in the West, I mean, what's the separation between 1 and 8? Like all those teams are really good teams, bro. Like you could be an 8 seed out West and you're Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum.
Is Dame Lillard and CJ McCollum comparing to what we talk about in that era?
But see, that's where playoff experience.
I think if you're saying they're the 8th seed,
once you get into a series, it's about winning 4 games. You're playing the same team night after night.
For sure.
That same matchup that worked in game 2 is not going to work in game 4.
Exactly.
That side out of bounds in game 4 ain't going to work in game 6. And if you get to a game 7, you know what they're going to do. They know what you're going to do. That's the beauty of it. You can beat a team once or twice.
Right.
But can you beat them 4 times? It's an elongated series. Everybody got rest. Everybody got travel. That's what makes it different. Like even in that year, the Bucks were 57-22, and Sidney Moncrief coming out.
Jack, man,
players.
He don't understand. He don't understand.
Balances itself.
Terry Collins, Sidney Moncrief, Jack Sigma. Come on, man, you don't understand that.
I definitely do, and it was great basketball. I love it. I would
even put it in the context. I would even put it in the context this year with the NBA on hiatus. There's only one team that's eliminated from the playoffs. But when the season resumes, they could be healthy enough to be a top 8 team, but they're eliminated now. And that's Golden State. That's the only team that's eliminated from the playoffs. But then you're gonna tell me that the Pelicans or Sacramento don't deserve a shot, only being 3.5 games out of 8th place to play for playoff positioning? You're gonna tell me that the Pelicans can't get in? You can't tell me that Sacramento can't get in because Portland has taken the decline. Portland probably needs some more help in the interior, but they're gonna have their man back. When Jakic get back, then they're gonna be good. That's why I love 82 games. That's why it's a marathon.
For sure. And that goes to my point, though. That's what I'm talking about, the depth of the game now, where you have really good teams. Like, I mean, I've been a Nets bandwagoner for the last 3 or 4 years, telling people how good I feel like the Nets were coming to be. Like, that's a good basketball team, man.
The Brooklyn Nets?
Brooklyn Nets a tough team to beat, bro. You're not going in. That's not an easy win, bro.
Brooklyn Nets gonna be all right.
Bro. I've been saying it. I've been saying it for 3 years, bro.
That's a damn really nice.
Win. Nice. It's not an easy win, bro. That Milwaukee team is no slouch.
You look like, what are y'all talking about?
Milwaukee. Hey, look, and I'm gonna tell you who the next Brooklyn Nets team is. That Orlando Magic team next year.
You got to get a coach first.
That Orlando Magic team next year.
Orlando on the way up.
On the way up. Them Boston Celtics. I don't think, and I'm naming teams that I don't think have a chance of winning the championship, but those are good teams with depth, with good players.
Oh, what up, fellas?
Here we go.
Let's go. What it is. We in here, man. I'm in here saying that the depth is just as good now.
I mean, I said something for Burnett to get in there.
Hey, man, this is an unprecedented premiere right here, man.
What you got for us, man?
Not much, man. I just wanted to join the conversation, man. Growing up about 30 minutes from there, it's just bringing up all kind of nostalgia, man. So I just had to chime in with you fellas, man.
Hey, yes, sir.
Hey, both of y'all growing up that, Chicago fan, you growing up that close. Mondre them probably just know the United Center. They don't realize that feel in Chicago Stadium. When that thing was
I gotta include the disclaimer. I'm from Hammond, Indiana. I'm not one of those people that say since I'm 30 from Chicago, I'm from Chicago. I gotta throw that caveat in there. HMD.
Hey,
but I will say, but it's close enough because it's the same market, so you still get that type of feel. Where we were situated at in Indiana, you always rooted for the Bulls. The Pacers weren't really an option. You respected Reggie, you respected Dale and Antonio and Jalen, but it was always about the Bulls, just in that little Northwest Indiana corner. So I mean, you really felt that market kind of rise with it, man. So it's just being able to appreciate how MJ approached everything. And I think with MJ, you still see how he set the tone for a lot of the moves that are LeBron James and a Rich Paul and some of these other guys, how they've used the business of sports to take a stand for players. I didn't know MJ was as vocal as being able to make some of those statements even back then. And I think the documentary really emphasized that early on because we were younger at that age. So we were noticing what he was doing on court and we were less focused on some of the statements he was making, given the platform he created. So I thought it was dope how Crawl made it to where he had to be a little bit more vocal to get a point across. But it was nice to see he was that type of ambassador for the players. And now these guys have totally changed the landscape as far as how deals are being negotiated. And I'm sure Pippen would have loved that type of advocacy.
Oh, yeah. You're right. It's like when he said at the press conference, they just won a title. I'm not playing for nobody else but Phil Jackson. Yep. I mean,
there you have it. I mean, that's not great. That's pretty black and white. And with the way he played, I mean, it's only so much you can do as far as playing a game of chicken with Jordan.
Yeah.
And you win. When you win, that puts more arrows in your quiver.
Yeah.
So, that you win. If you lose and you want to sit there and say, nah, I think we can do it. You don't have as much power behind you, but you win. You haven't lost in the finals.
And I think that was the point they made. You don't break up this team. We won. If we had lost, then okay, I'm with you. Let's see what else we can do.
And the way Jordan used the word entitled. Normally, when you hear entitlement, you think, you kind of look at it in a negative way, like they just entitled to spoil. No, but he specifically used the word, we're entitled to defend this until somebody kind of unseats us. And I just thought that, he said that with a lot of conviction. But I think it ended up
holding with it, though, right?
No, you cannot.
No, you can't. You can't, bro.
I gotta ask a question.
And I think
I'm a duck.
Uh-oh.
I just gotta ask a question though, man.
You see my shirt, right? You see my shirt, so
I know, bro. I know. Did Orlando give MJ the fair one when he came back in the league and they lost in the playoffs?
That wasn't a full season.
Hey, now, I got an interesting thought on that. Now, let me tell you, bro. I'm caught in a dilemma because I was a Penny fan from the day out. Part of why I moved to Atlanta was being able to catch Penny and the Magic on TBS and TNT,
right,
all led up by Turner. So, bro, I was a Penny fan. So it was tough because when MJ went to play baseball, I was kind of hurt, bro. I ain't gonna lie. As a fan, I was hurt. So you had this surge of Penny and what they were doing in Orlando. So for me, I didn't put an asterisk by that Orlando win because even MJ, after playing baseball for a year, is still good, better than most. Would you agree?
I agree.
Because even then, I mean, they barely put them out even with him taking a year off. So for me, I don't really discount what the Magic did. They did what they did. But when you come back and you run another 3 back, I mean, that kind of makes up for when you had an early exit after playing baseball for 18 months.
And when they saw that same Orlando team in the playoffs, 4-0, they broke out the boom on quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I mean, let's be honest, man. After those Nick Anderson free throws, after that scenario, they never were the same team. After that scenario,
they were done.
That was a tough scenario, and that's not a shot to Nick, but it's tough to get that close. And then with the way Akeem played, and then yeah.
Facts. That's facts.
Let's take it back to Patrick Ewing. He still didn't get it done when Jordan was gone.
Jordan left.
Hey,
so what did we talk about before? I'm just saying the man Charles Oakley said the man that put the team on his back.
To your point, Gabriel, isn't that proof of how hard it is to win a title no matter how good you are?
Yes.
And my argument, and I don't know if this is the right place for it, but my argument is Jordan won 6, but it's the Hall of Famers that he prevented from winning that impressed me. Miller didn't get one. Patrick didn't get one. Dominique didn't get one.
Yeah.
Malone and Stockton didn't get one. Ewing didn't get one. He prevented those guys. Kemp didn't get one. Peyton got his later, but not when they were there. He prevented those guys from winning. And they didn't win. That adds to the greatness.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that to me, that Phoenix team was the most legit team that MJ went against. That was a real that Phoenix.
That Seattle team. That Seattle team,
bro.
What? No, they were not.
Don't get me wrong. Seattle reminded me of when LeBron beat KD and Russell and all those.
Man, how do you call Gary and Sean and Hersey Hawkins and Detlef Schrempf and Sam Perkins? They were not young, bro.
The same way you me, KD and James Harden.
They were older than them.
To me, they were too young to be going against MJ. To me, they weren't ready for that moment.
That's a better statement. Maybe they weren't ready for that moment, but they weren't young.
But I'll say this to kind of on Mondre's side. I'll say this: those Sonics teams were tough, but let's be honest as to how those Sonic series went. Gary Payton was going to talk stuff, going to be a respectful effort on behalf of the Sonics, but at no point did you really feel like the Sonics were going to beat the Bulls.
Never.
And it could. And that's a matter of opinion. That's a matter of opinion. But I think most people will say you never felt like the Sonics were going to beat the Bulls. Those Suns teams, with the way Marley was shooting, with the way KJ was playing close to his prime, with the way Barkley was playing at the time, Dumas was tough. You know what I'm saying? Like Paxson had to hit that 3 he hit during that one finals, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's still a matter of opinion, but that's why threat because we needed that 3 from Pax, bro.
To me, I think every other series, like you could point and be like, man, this ain't really, you know what I mean? To me, looking at it, it was never like, to me, even when I saw the first championship against LA, I never doubted that MJ was winning that first ring. I never doubted. And I think MJ missed the game winner in game 1, didn't he? Was that game 1 at Chicago and he missed the game winner in LA?
Magic done won that game, but I mean they had the advantage. Yeah. Game 3, I think, was the pivotal game when they went out to LA and Scottie Pippen fouled out and Divac fouled out. Right. Pippen and Jordan had to play the fourth quarter with 5 fouls, and they wound up winning that game. That was the pivotal game. And then the Seattle series, they went up 3-0. So that was just, we'll let y'all win too, so we can go back home and win.
Go back home and win it, yeah. I never felt like.
But the Utah series, both Utah series were highly contested games. If you go back, I don't think in them 12 games in the finals, I only think there was one game decided by 8 or more points. They all were key possession, 1 and 2 possession games, and it was always in the high 90s, the high 80s, the mid 90s. They valued it. Look at how the last one was won. A defensive stop, come down, don't call a timeout, shoot a jumper, win by 2 or 3. So there was not, I'm thinking off the top of my head, there was no more than 1 or 2 double-digit games. And then he never played in the game, game 7 in the final.
Right. And I'll tell you what I really liked about that era, as we talk about it, Mondre, of why I like that era. I felt every team had to go through a process to get to be a champion.
Yeah.
You didn't just jump and be a champion. Like,
that's true.
Detroit, we got to get through Boston and become a champion. The Bulls got to get through Detroit and become a champion. And it was like, not saying you wanted to respect that process, but they had to.
Yeah. And
when they finally got over the hump, it was like, shh, we there now.
I agree. I feel like watching the Pistons finally beat Boston and then go and get a title. It showed you how to win. It showed young teams how to win. And I think you listen to Isaiah Thomas talk about when they lost to the Lakers, that teaching them something. That summer, what that summer was like after they lost. Isaiah Thomas got busy. Still watching that game brings tears to my eyes to this day. Getting busy on one leg, giving everything that they wanted on one leg, tough. Which I want to do. But I think we do lose something for young players that young players don't necessarily understand how to deal with adversity and how to build your team into a winner. Nobody wants to build it anymore. Everybody just kind of wants that ready-made. We're not watching teams go through that adversity anymore.
Hey, bro, I'll tell you one thing I was thinking. I bet you Detroit was sitting back and watching MJ against that Celtics series and thinking there's no way he's going to score like that without us sending him to the free throw line a lot. Like, I feel like they were sizing up that series and saying there is no way you're going to stop him unless you commit to the type of physical game plan that they did. I mean, they did that in any series. So, they were a physical team. But I'm just saying, man, I think a lot of the stuff that you will see in subsequent years, they felt like it was a must after you saw that Celtics series.
I saw some highlight about how physical the game was. They showed Jordan finishing and how he got fouled. Like, even he was finishing, and they were just knocking him on the head. They were undercutting him. They were doing all kinds of stuff to him.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, I started out as a huge Isaiah Thomas fan, and in the early days, I wasn't an MJ fan, like, right off. It was that series that kind of flipped it for me. Like, I didn't like that, man. Like, if you can't guard this man, just to come out and just foul him, like, that was scrub behavior to me, man. That's not right for me to say that against such elite guys, man. But y'all understand what I'm saying? Like, that was whack behavior, man. Like, don't just foul this dude because you can't guard him, bro. Like, we just gonna beat him up. Like, come on, man. Like, play basketball. Like, try to guard
him up.
Yeah, try to guard him, bro.
But as we're going to see next week, that might have made Michael.
I think it did. I think all what they went through with the Pistons got them to be the 6-time NBA champions. I think without that, they don't become no
champions. He lost to the Pistons back to that year.
Yeah. I don't even think Pippen becomes who Pippen is without going through the migraines. They calling him soft, you know.
How much Tim Grover do y'all think we get in these next couple episodes?
A lot. Enough.
Yeah. Next episode for sure.
I mean, next episode. Everybody knows Tim Grover.
I feel like he it was like he was like this mythical. He was the first time that I ever heard a trainer's name.
Yeah.
And it was like this black box mythical guy that, like, if you train with Tim Grover, you were gonna be a champion. You was gonna be MJ or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the first time I think he was, I guess, that generation's I hate to toss out names, bro. Was he the first? Well, I'll just say this: was Tim Grover the first Instagram trainer? Was he the first popular trainer? I gotta.
Why can't he just be a trainer?
I know, right?
Trainer.
Why can't he just be the first known trainer, a trainer that had a name of substance?
He can't be. I gotta ask.
Instagram, man. Hey, but what?
He was the only popular guy that I
how many Instagram Jerry Krauses are there?
Man, that was a good one.
Hey, man, but what y'all missing is, you know, Bryce, I think you may be the youngest on here. I think. Did you really understand what WGN and TBS were back in the day from when we were growing up, man?
WGN, man.
I didn't have to wait for TNT. I don't even know when TNT started. Like,
wait, TNT and TBS the same thing, bro.
Yeah, but TNT was later because TBS would be playing the Hawks.
TNT started in the 81. And
I was watching TBS, baby.
Yeah, because we was in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But TNT had the NBA in 81.
I ain't see none of that. I ain't okay.
WGN. If you had cable, you had WGN, so you could catch the Bulls games too.
So good. Yeah, man.
And that's what made it so great. They were super stations.
I'm not gonna tell you what my daddy did to get me WGN. We weren't paying for it. We weren't paying for it.
That line was going outside your house, man.
Yeah, the cable line running. And then you had a splitter.
Yeah, but I got to get a quick joke in. MJ was dry snitching for a little bit at one point in hour one.
They didn't want to give me that one. Marcus, they didn't want to give me that one when I called.
And he stopped. He didn't say the names. He just said they were all in the room.
Yeah.
Hey, too much ballpark, man. Too much ballpark.
No, Alfonso went and looked up everybody that was on the team that year, so he started naming them.
That's the difference in college ball and pro ball.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good grief, man. I gotta do we get the any mention of the previous playoff series in this doc? We didn't get I didn't see any flashes of Portland. I didn't see
I think that's coming.
No LA, no,
they mentioned it.
I think it's coming.
The documentary is about Jordan winning. I don't think they're gonna spend too much time on the losers.
Yeah. Hey, but as we talking about losers,
that's cold, Hilson. That's cold.
But he's right. But as we talking about losers, let's go back now. We were talking about the teams they beat. That was a pretty deep Portland team now.
Yeah.
Portland was tough because he beat Drexler, but then Drexler got his ring with
Hey, Huff's really about to tell me about Terry Porter.
Man, they were deep, man. They were
deep. I didn't say they had.
Then when they started talking about MJ jump shot,
Huff really about to start telling me about Terry Porter. Is that where we going? Kevin Duckworth?
Hey, man, Kevin Duckworth, Buck Williams. You don't know about that, man.
Buck Williams, Jerome Kersey, Kevin Duckworth, Terry Porter.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you my
Clifford Robinson.
To me, if Uncle
Cliff Robinson, his rookie year. Yep.
if Uncle Cliffy was older in that series, I think it's a better series. To me, Cliff Robertson was hooping, but Ricky, man, too young, bro.
Yeah.
He too young. Kevin Duckworth too old.
Bro, y'all saw that mid-range assassin, man.
We did.
If he's hitting threes like he was hitting threes at Portland series, you can cancel Christmas, man. So, I mean, you know they're gonna slow us down and walk us through the story behind the infamous knocking down a handful of threes and then shrugging the shoulders. Right. So you know they're gonna walk through that at the right point.
At some point, I just want to hear. Sometimes I dream that he is me. Give it to me one time, bro. Make my life right. Man.
I forget which game it was. It may have been game 4 in the Portland series. Game 4. It wasn't 6 because they won it. So it was either 4 or 5 when Chicago trailed by 18 in the fourth quarter and Jordan was on the bench. And Scott Hansen, Craig Hodges, DJ Armstrong kept them in the game.
Yep.
And then they got back in the game, and then Jordan came in and won it. That was the pivotal game. And I think he said it in the doc tonight. The early 90 teams were a little bit more agile and younger, which they were because Hodges would hit for you, BJ would hit for you, Paxson would hit for you. But that game, Scott Hansen, ain't nobody talking about Scott Hansen. I know one of them games in the finals against Portland, he played and got 8 to 12 points in the fourth quarter when they were down. And they came back and won that game. Was it game 2 or 8? That's gonna drive me crazy now because I know it may have been. It was game 4, I think.
Go to the VHS, man.
I got a question too, because they didn't really talk about it. And I think I know the answer, but who started in place of Pippen until he got back that year?
Oh, Scott Burrell.
Hey,
Scott Burrell. That's right.
Because he's going to get cooked later on in the series.
Because people always think, they just started Tony Kukoc. No, they left. He was the guy to come off the bench. Tony was the guy to come off the bench for him.
No, it may have been, you know what? No, it may have been Kukoc, though.
I don't think the whole time it was.
Kukoc, Jordan, and Harper. No, it was Kukoc.
You sure?
I'm okay. I'm pretty sure about it. If it wasn't Kukoc, then it was Burrell. But then Burrell got buried to the end of the bench later on.
Because then Judd Buechler started getting more playing time than Burrell.
Judd Buechler.
Off the bench, though.
Yeah.
Off the bench. Select minute. Because that's the thing, all these games, I don't know how many Pippen missed. It may wind up being like 20, but see, he didn't miss a game in the playoffs.
Right.
I gotta know, man. At one point in time, Dennis Rodman says that they didn't really talk to Mike off the floor at all.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
That's what Rodman said. He was like, "We ain't got to be friends to win." So we got coaches on this show, and I just want to know what y'all think. How would y'all handle a locker room dynamic?
I tell them all the time. You don't have to be friends. You got to respect each other.
Yeah, I'm with that. They kind of like me too.
I mean,
everybody don't feel like from a chemistry standpoint,
everybody's gonna be on the same page. As
if you're on the same page and respect each other, then you're gonna play a role. Yeah,
that's all that matters. But I mean, during the day, throughout school, you might not hang out with him, so much. But I mean, when you get in that locker room and on the floor, there's one goal, and that's to win game. So if you're on the same page, then we cool. You know what I mean? And I got to be best friends in the classroom, sit next to each other for 8 hours a day.
That's an interesting dynamic to me. For me to see.
Are you friends with every guy you've been a teammate with?
No. But I also ain't won 6 rings either. I ain't win shit.
That's not the point of the question. If you got teammates, you're not friends with every single one of them.
I agree. To me, right, based off of what we say.
You think Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett friends?
Not anymore. Not anymore. Neither is Russell Westbrook and KD. I don't care what they tell me. Not anymore. But no, I just from a chemistry standpoint, I just thought that was odd to see, man. I mean, now we know Bird and Mikal didn't always see eye to eye. Like Bird didn't think Mikal was the hardest worker ever. But
yeah, but that probably made him play better on the floor, being that they weren't together so much. I mean, like, you know, they kind of kept a professional relationship, and they, you know,
yeah, I think that's to me that's an interesting dynamic. I think they got away with it because they were successful. I think any other time you get somebody.
Well, ask yourself, would you have been one to hang out with Dennis Rodman off the floor?
So on the lowest of keys, on the lowest of
don't
keys,
even know. Don't even
maybe. I would not have wanted to hang out. I would not want to hang out with MJ though.
I hate to do this to you, Madre. I hate to do this to you, Madre. Why is Kevin Durant in Brooklyn?
Because he ain't like dealing with Steph Curry.
No, because Steph didn't want to hang out with him outside of basketball.
Well, are we sure Draymond didn't have anything to do with that?
Huh?
Are we sure Draymond didn't have anything to do with that?
He probably
that was Steph Curry.
He was going.
That was Steph saying, "I got kids, I got a family, I ain't got time to run around. I'll see you at the gym."
So I mean, let's you got to take you talking about I think that has a lot to do with Phil and how he was able to get that team to play together.
Yep,
exactly. A masterful job.
Yeah,
masterful job.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was shocked by that though, man. Honestly,
do you think Robert the Chief Parrish was hanging out with Larry Bird? Notice what I said now.
I could tell you on that team who he was hanging out
with.
And
don't forget, Robert Parrish got one of them Bulls rings too.
Yes, he does.
He does. John Sally got him one.
Yeah.
Or just one.
I gotta look that up.
I think Sally got two. He rolled that way.
I think.
How many Jack Haley got? How many Jack Haley got? 2? 1?
Ooh.
Oh no. Yeah, you pulled
one out. He got one in Boston and one in Chicago.
Yeah. Sally went and got him 2, and then went
to
LA and
Sally got one. He got one with the Bulls, one with the Lakers.
One with the Bulls, one with the Lakers.
And two with the Pistons. 2 with the Pistons. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did Jack Haley get one in San Antonio too?
I think he did.
I think he did. Let's look.
Hey, there's some guys that know how to hang around that league, baby.
Man, those guys. That's an interesting dynamic, man. I was shocked to hear that. I was shocked to see.
I will agree with Charles Barkley. There's a lot of guys that were bus riders that got rings and not bus drivers.
Sure. Man, I'm just thinking about that team dynamic, bro. I don't know, man. That I would be shocked if I'm trying to name another championship team that we think that these guys in a locker room aren't really talking like that. Nobody. Lakers are there. Lakers that really what?
Why is that so shocking to you?
I don't, man. Like I guess in contrast with today's NBA, like to think that there would be Lakers that like, yo, I really can't stand LeBron. Like, nah.
I mean, you think that everybody was getting along with Ron Artest on that team with Kobe?
I mean, and I'm not saying,
Ron Artest,
but with the Bulls team, it was less of a. It was like less of a can't stand element with the Bulls, and it was more so everybody wasn't kicking it with each other as much off the court. So it wasn't like they didn't really detest each other, but everybody got their own cup of tea or how they spend their time, and it's just, I mean, it just levels to the dynamic. the same cohesion you might need at the high school level, it's gonna be a lot different when you talking professionals.
Very much so.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
it's totally different.
They said them dudes would show up at the club. Rodman have his corner, Pippen have his corner, MJ have his corner, all in the same spot. Nobody crosses over. They said by the end of it,
And
now,
I think that's
MJ
okay, because if you at the club, that's your personal time. When you at the gym with your basketball team, we talking about pro basketball. That's their job. I promise you, I don't hang out with everybody on my job. So I'm gonna go do my job, and then I'm gonna leave. Like, that's their job. I think I understand why you struggle with it, because AAU and you see guys and you meet guys, and I know some AAU guys right now, they can't stand certain people on their team. They won't tell you that, but I know they can't stand certain dudes. They don't hang out with them. They block them on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
Facts.
You ain't gotta be friends. Just play ball.
Right.
Facts.
So
he was making 30 million, taking their money.
Right.
That's where I'm driving to. That's where I'm driving to, Huff. I was trying to get somebody else to say it, because I'm shocked by it, because you win six championships that way, as hard as it is to do, to just keep it all bit. Hey man, this is just the guy that I play with. Period. Now for some guys, the guys that got rotated in and out, I understand, but Harp, Pippen, Rodman, these guys you win multiple championships with, that you leaning on like that, and still your best friend is Oakley out of all of them. Like, you don't really rock with them dudes. Like, you talk to Oak, and Oak is a Nick. And they said he had a better friendship with, like, what did they say? One of his dudes from North Carolina that he brought with him, that was like his security guard or whatever, that in the locker room, that's who he talked to in the locker room. Like, that was a little surprising to me.
To be the age difference too.
To be the best, you have to sacrifice something. Remember, I told you that earlier.
The age difference in the pros too, Dre. You got to look at that, man. Like,
true.
A 17-year veteran ain't gonna hang out with a 2-year player. You know what I mean? Guys, 17-year veteran might have a wife and 3 kids. When that second-year player, I mean, he's 19, 20. You know what I mean?
Hillsman said he's a stone cold killer. I come to work, I kill, and then I leave. I feel you. Everybody's favorite pair of J's, man. Y'all ready?
Yeah. The ones.
I said what, Marjorie?
I said everybody's favorite pair of J's.
The ones tough, man.
For today, I'm gonna go with the playoffs. These are my favorite ones.
Yeah.
For today, it changes every day, though.
It's a quality shoe.
Yeah.
11s is still my all-time
11's tough. 11's tough.
I like them 3s and 4s. I always like that old look with those 3s and 4s, those 5s. They do something for me. Like, it's just.
But wasn't it the ones that made the NBA change the rule?
Yeah, it was.
Actually, in some of those videos, some of the shots, they showed those just released, like some packages that they just released. Those ones and something. They were like white and red. 4s.
They released some on Sneaker today. Bryce, you see that?
Yeah, that was crazy. Nike dropped the 5s, the white 5s on Sneakers right when the series started. Crazy. And they probably sold out in like 2 seconds.
By the time I seen the alert and went to the sneaker site, it was over with.
5's tough too.
Yeah, that would be my second favorite. I think the 5s.
5s are classic. Yeah, 5s are
they're classic.
When you can wear the 11, we was wearing the 11s to prom, bro. The 11s came out my senior year. We was wearing those to prom, fam.
How much? They was probably about what, $85, $90 back then?
I think it was like 105.
Yeah,
they were still over 100. Yeah, but them breads, like you.
He didn't have the taxis on it yet. I didn't see anybody throw the taxis on there. I might have missed it, but I didn't see
that. I didn't see that. Hey, David Dixon jumped in 3, 6, and 11. Hey, all good shoes, bro.
Yeah.
They're fire.
6,
All
11,
good
yeah.
3, 6,
Paul
and
said
11.
explains why the doc is out.
Good shoes.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sneakers app. I got the notification right when it started. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
When I jumped on it. It was already gone, bro. It was
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then the defining moment 6 dropped on Saturday.
Yep.
I like the 10s too, Dre. The 10s tough, man.
10s are slept on. That was probably like right around the time when he
Tough.
came back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those 10s don't get enough love.
Yeah, man.
Man, them Space Jams don't get enough love.
Yeah. I keep Space on ice. Yeah, I keep Space Jams on ice, man. Try not to wear those.
Which one was it with the shot over Brian Russell, the black and red joints, the all
Flu
black and red
games.
joints?
The flu games. Those were like
games.
12 or 13s. I can't remember. The black and red joint.
Yeah, them is, boy.
Those are classic.
Yes, sir.
I think
the taxis. The black and red. Yeah.
I think to me that like MJ couldn't change the game with how he dressed the way that Iverson and those guys did, but with the shoe game,
yeah, he changed it. He set the bar.
Yeah, he set that bar, man.
These guys getting these 300 million plus shoe contracts, man. Got to write a little 2%, 3% tip over there to MJ, bro.
I don't think anybody would have a signature line as good as him ever. I mean, LeBron has had some really good shoes, but they're not as iconic as Jordan.
It's not gonna be Jordan's, man. To me,
Kyrie has some good shoes, but they're not as like iconic.
Yeah.
Like I think Kobe was the only person.
Kobe was getting there. Yeah, Kobe was the only
person that got close.
Yeah, Kobe was getting there.
I think KD would be next. I don't think KD is touching MJ though, but his shoe line, I think.
But the thing about it is, like the way we saying these numbers of shoes, you can identify their signature lines like that. Like if you ask me like what were the KD threes, I had to see a picture of them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's facts.
But like I know in my mind what the Jordan threes look like. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think anybody's gonna have LeBron might, like you said, LeBron, Kobe probably gonna be the closest to have a line like his. But even still, man, they're not doing numbers like he did, man. He was selling out shoes during the middle school day.
Yeah.
Tuesdays.
On Tuesday release.
Fam, they had to stop releasing Jordans on Tuesday because I remember you're either cutting school and coming to school at lunch with your new Jordans on, or you're leaving school early to go get the shoes and then come back.
Yeah.
Nobody else's shoe release is doing that, bro.
Nah.
Nobody. They had to move the release of the Jordans to Saturday.
Yep. Which made it crazy.
That's crazy. You changed the game, man.
Being in school, bro, that's back when your album, if you was a rapper, your album came out on Tuesday.
Oh, man,
and the Jordans came out on Tuesday. You was going to the mall getting right, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you bought albums.
Yo, even the Team Jordans, I peeked in the first part, and I was like, "Yo, the Team Jordans is even crazy." Like, they was crazy, bro.
He did Chris Paul dirty though
when Team Jordans came out, but I was like, "Yo, these Jordans are tough."
He did Chris Paul and Melo dirty.
Yeah, Melo got some decent shoes though under Jordan.
The jump man.
Yeah, Melo had some decent shoes.
I swear to.
Chris Paul had nothing.
Man, y'all sleeping on them answers out there, man.
It's my favorite shoe.
Yeah.
It's my favorite shoe, bro. It's my favorite shoe.
And man, y'all sleeping on them Reebok pumps, man. I got them signed by Dominique over here, man. Y'all don't make me pull them out, man.
Oh man.
Oh, that was when he get a documentary, man.
Oh, he got one, man. He on SEC Story, man. Watch out over there, bro.
So speaking of, man, what other like documentaries do y'all think y'all would want to see? We get MJ. I feel like we gotta have a Kobe doc, man. Please work on that.
Yeah, we need a Kobe doc.
Give us the Kobe doc, man.
We not ready for that right now, though. We still so they can take their time with that. To be honest,
yeah.
The OKC years. I want to see that one.
Yeah, I'm sure it went down.
James Harden, Westbrook, KD.
Yeah, I'm sure it got.
I want to see that one.
I want to see the year the Cavs won it, man. That year. I want to see when they won it. Yeah, I want to see that.
Gotta give me a LeBron doc.
Yeah, you got to give me one LeBron now.
So speaking,
I wouldn't mind like a Lakers doc with the time period of like Eddie Jones, young Kobe,
facts.
Who else on that?
Kicks are underrated.
Fox, like that time period, we could. A lot of kids for real don't know anything about Eddie Jones. Like Eddie Jones was that good.
For sure.
I could.
Hey, J.R. Ryder was on the All the Smoke podcast, dogging Eddie Jones. Man, I used to bust his ass.
I saw that.
J.R. Ryder is a wild boy, bro.
Always been wild.
Oakland.
He was killing. He was killing.
Actually, you know the I don't know if they could put it together, but the doc I want to see is the almost teams.
Orlando.
No, I ain't even talking about that. I'm talking about Sacramento with Chris Webber now, and then Portland. You know, that almost beat Shaq with Pippen and Steve Smith. Like they were right there and they couldn't get it done. I want to see that documentary about how it feels when you right there, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, hey, Huff can't bring himself to say LeBron, bro. You know you want to see this LeBron doc, Huff. Come on, bro.
I'll watch the shot when it comes on, man. But you know,
you're playing.
I put it to you like this: I want to see LeBron as much as I want to see a 28-3 documentary about the Falcons.
Wow,
man.
My boy hating on LeBron. Wow,
I love Bron, but you know.
So what does it say though that MJ greenlit this documentary the day of the Cavs championship parade after LeBron wins the title against Golden State? I'm gonna say what I think it means. Y'all tell me, what do you think it means? Nothing or what?
I'm still the best.
Yeah. You ain't gonna get my shine.
Don't you ever compare me
to me?
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
I think the fact that MJ reacted this way. Now, mind you, he didn't react this way. He could have greenlit it after Kobe won 5.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He greenlit it after LeBron won 1 in Cleveland. To me, that is MJ saying that this is a worthy adversary.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying he's better, but saying
that championship that he won in Cleveland was huge.
Yeah,
it was huge, bro.
Huge.
Like,
and I think if Kevin Love and Kyrie don't get hurt, that could have been the second one.
And he was down 3-1, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Like that was almost like winning 2 I mean, like,
yes,
it was huge.
If Draymond don't get suspended, do they win it again?
Ooh, you got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of stuff in that one. Got a lot of stuff to unpack, as they say.
When Draymond went out, that's when the floor opened up for LeBron, and they didn't have nobody to really lock him down and get in his and bug him the whole game. And we at that point they come back.
Had 2 games to go after that, man.
Yeah,
man. I was so mad at Draymond Bryce. I didn't know what to do, bro.
Change it, man. Momentum swing.
Man.
Yeah.
I was mad like I was coaching, bro. For real.
I think MJ was at home like,
go.
Yeah.
Press the button.
You're right.
Press the button on
it. Sent the text, man. I'm glad he did. I don't like him calling Scottie selfish for the contract thing, but I understand.
But
if they all came back thinking this is the last dance, that's why he's saying that. Like, this is our last run. Let's go get this title. We worry about everything else after.
He made $8 million over the course of his career. What was it? It was like, come on, man.
Whack,
but I get you. But he also signed that deal, guys. Don't act like he didn't sign that deal.
He did sign it, but he knew he needed Scottie to get the job done. He knew he needed to.
Oh, you saying he should have took less?
I mean, the dude deserved more. So whatever the case may be.
But y'all missing the point. It ain't about MJ in that. It's about the management. They said they never would go back and renegotiate contracts. They ain't got nothing to do with MJ.
It doesn't. I mean, I see both points where he's saying like he could have got the surgery earlier and stuff like that. I get that. I agree with that. But at the same time, from a Scotty's standpoint, he shouldn't have signed a contract for one. For two, I mean, he was worth way more than what he got. Like,
but when you got 12 people depending on you, maybe more if you include the mom and dad, 7 years for 19, you gotta. He's like, what happens if he gets hurt? He can't take care of him. Let me sign this deal.
Yeah.
I think he watched MJ go get 30 million. I think he's looking at MJ saying that's easy for you to say because
right.
You got this big shoe deal, you getting all of these endorsements. You know, like, you know, I feel like to me that's the part of it why I think it's hard for me to look at MJ and be like, bro, like you couldn't toss this dude in a couple commercials, like, you know, like help him kind of offset some of that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got a lot of pull at that point, bro. Like Gatorade gonna do. I mean, was Gatorade not gonna do that?
He did have a sneaker line, but
I had them flights, them Scotties.
Scotty had
great. I had them.
Scotty had some nice shoes, but I did not know he didn't make that much money. I couldn't. I mean,
either.
I did not know. Like, you know what I mean? In my mind, I'm thinking Scotty. I mean, he probably still is set for the rest of his life, but I'm thinking like,
I mean, that deal in Portland was pretty good. It's like,
well, you know, Scotty's head of financial advisor that robbed him too.
Watch out for these financial advisors.
Matter of fact, I want to say it's the same dude that robbed Tim Duncan.
Wow,
Tim Duncan got robbed. I knew Kevin Garnett got robbed.
Tim Duncan got robbed too. Tim Duncan got robbed too before his divorce. Then he got divorced after he got robbed. Tough life.
But Tim Duncan got that bag though, so it wasn't. I mean,
got what bag?
Didn't Tim Duncan get paid? 100 million? Tim Duncan?
He might have it.
Yeah.
San Antonio, he had to get it. He had to get over 200 million. I mean, something crazy.
He got a good deal. I mean, I was shocked by that, man. To me, speak on another man's money. You know, I understand. Like he got mad at him for the same reason.
But did he speak on his money? He just said he was selfish with the surgery. He didn't speak on his money. He said he was selfish for not getting a surgery.
I agree with that point.
That ain't got nothing to do with your money now.
Yeah.
MJ wanted to win at all costs. I think. Yeah. But I understand where Pip was talking about. Like, get me out of here. I think
but he wasn't saying. I don't think he was saying get me out of here for joy. He was saying get me out of here for
the
cross.
Yeah. No, I just think we have this thing about today's players. Oh, they cry babies, they go complain and blah blah blah. You know, some old school players like want to get out too now, man. Had a whole article on MJ saying, "Yo, this ain't right. I ain't with this." You know, those things get looked at a little bit different, I think. Hey man, we can get ready to start wrapping this up, man.
Robinson.
That
the big dog. Did he play in Atlanta? I think so.
Yeah, he did.
Any predictions on what we see in the next week?
It's gonna be a lot of Pistons Bulls.
A lot of Pistons Bulls. Pippen's gonna fight Krause. They're gonna fist fight.
They gonna square up, bro.
Yeah, I like how Mike was like talking trash to him all the time. I love that, man. Like he clearly didn't like him. You know,
I'll tell you dynamic. I want to see more, which I know people know a little bit about, and I don't know if it's gonna come in the next two.
Yeah,
and how Pippen and Jordan went at coach in the Olympics, and how they made that better when he got on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I want to see that.
Yeah, they went at him.
I want to see when we gonna get Rodman. At some point, we're gonna get.
Hey
Rodman.
Man, there's a story. I'm a wrestling fan. Y'all know that. You know, the last year that championship, he's wrestling in the middle of the NBA Finals.
I remember that.
This is a practice or shoot around or something. So, yeah, that's gonna get crazy.
Y'all had the nerve to ask me would I want to hang out with Rodman? Probably.
I mean,
which Rodman? Like wedding dress Rodman?
Wedding dress Rodman? No.
Which one are we talking about?
Probably so.
because Robin was live, bro. Like,
man, Robin was wild, dog.
yeah, like
I don't know how he did it, man. I don't know how he like did it on such a high level. Like he would party all night. Then
Whoa, y'all act like Jordan went up all night.
Facts.
Yeah, he was up all night too. Because they said that in the USA team, the Dream Team documentary. He didn't
Jordan
sleep.
was out here putting in work.
Yes, sir.
They said it also
I'm
wasn't.
just gonna leave it there.
They said it also wasn't no flu game.
Come on, bro. We already know. I don't call that the flu game. I call that the Henny game.
Hey, man.
That was the
Ain't too
Henny
much to
game.
do in Utah, man. He might have had the flu huff. Ain't much to do in Utah, dog. But then again, you got money. It's a lot to yeah,
I'm not even gonna talk about what might have been flown into Utah.
Whoa.
Oh man.
But hey, man, I appreciate everybody kicking it with us, man. I just appreciate the fact that this was an incredible documentary, man. Like this sent me back. This was everything that I wanted. You know, the worst thing with
You needed it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this was everything, man. I want to go outside. I want to go outside. I want to go outside so bad, bro.
Hey man, if this was back in the day, man, and we weren't in quarantine, like man, and run and shoot was popping, I'd be a run and shoot right now.
Woo, no air.
Trying to jump in the air and turn my back to the basket, flick layups up, man. That is incredible. But it's your boy, man. We're gonna sign off until next week.
Oh,
what's happening?
Come on, Andre.
What I miss?
You not gonna drop who coming on Thursday?
Go, hey, give it to him, Huff. My bad.
Smoke, boy.
I'm being a bad host. I'm being a bad host. Give it to him, Huff.
Man, good? I don't think anybody has had the pleasure to sit down with Jarvis Hayes and Jonas Hayes together.
We have them together for the culture.
I got a story. I got a story for y'all about that too. I'm gonna hold off until Thursday.
I don't know if your story gonna beat mine, but we gonna go.
I got some stories about them too.
Believe in the love of the game team, man. As always, man, make sure you like, subscribe to SUV TV. Turn your notifications on. Make sure that you get those notifications so every time we go live, you're gonna get it. Also, go to the Love of the Game podcast, do a search, hit our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, turn your notifications on there. You get Jarvis, Jonas Hayes on Thursday,
man.
8 o'clock.
And Xavier, right?
Xavier in Georgia State.
Yep. Yeah, man. Dan,
former NBA draft, lottery draft pick, two Georgia legends.
Then next Sunday at 5 o'clock, you gonna get CB.
Corey Black.
We doing Corey Black. We're keeping it all the way real. And you're gonna get a live reaction show after The Last Dance, man. So I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Y'all boys grinding out here, man.
Working, man. We working.
Trying to keep y'all entertained, enlightened, and educated during this doggone quarantine. Triple E's, baby, triple E's.
Yes, sir.
Man, I want everybody doing well and be well lubricated once you get into these the comments, man. Get your favorite beverage, man. Get you some ice. You know what I'm saying? I want to see all them solo red cups. You know what I'm saying?
One cube,
bro. And meet us in the comments section, dog. Let's get ready to turn up next week. We're gonna do it again. To all of my fellow WGN watchers, we enjoyed tonight. It's your boy Madre Allen. We're about to sign off this thing. Love y'all, man. Till next week, till Thursday, man. We out.